Easy. How are we?
Johnny, I'm good. I'm good. You just caught me at the end of a big yawn there. Not that you're
Yeah.
boring the crap out of me. It's just, it's the evening time.
It's barely even started the intro to the podcast, and you're already yawning bored and getting it done with. But I mean, you must be bored with all that walking you're doing around the gym when you're real there during the week. I didn't see much exercise or workouts, and you just took a big long tour that seemed to go on for ages. That
I
place is
have,
an absolute monster, by the way.
I have to say, I felt like a weirdo walking around with my camera, and it was so hard, like trying not to get people working out into it. Like, so
Mm.
it was, and then when I was doing my own workout, well, probably about an hour later after I walked around, there was people with tripods and cameras didn't give a shit about anyone else. I was like, I should have just recorded what I wanted because, to be honest, I even in that 90 seconds, I don't think I could tell the story of the sheer size of this place. Like I spent,
Mm.
honestly, even after walking around recording, I walked around going, what is that machine even going to work? And how does it work? Like
Yeah.
it's absolutely phenomenal. I found a little piece of happiness there as well. And it's mad, like, because everyone who has come back to me has gone, how much though? Like, and I'm like, how much are you paying? So I'll go for the full honesty.
Okay,
It's
shoot.
€1,200 for 13 months membership.
Okay.
So it's about €105 a month. And you can also pause it for up to 90 days. So if you're going on holidays, you're sick, you're doing anything, you have 90 days of pausing. Which there is about 3 months in a year through various different things. You can pause different things. So with all those classes, the swimming pool and everything has to be contextualized as well. The swim here in the National Aquatic Centre is about 16, €17 for a swim. So when you're trying to do a swim group class, train for a triathlon, like
Mm.
€16 every time you want to go for a swim is a hell of a lot of expense. So it's working about €5 a day membership.
But you're using the track, you're using the bike track, the run track, the swimming pool, you have all that included in it.
There 6 days a week.
Oh, okay.
So it's, for €36, the value for money in the facilities is absolutely amazing. I'm never waiting for a machine because there's always six of whatever I'm looking for,
Mm.
or a variation of such. You're never really stuck for things. And it is like if you are listening, well, fish,
There we
you,
go. I was waiting on it. I was
you
waiting
either
for
owe
the
us a
question.
million euros or a free membership for me. But without them selling it to me, like I'm just amazed by the facility. Like it is,
Hmm.
like I felt bad finishing the workout. I was like, but there's so much else here.
Mm.
There's another class. Like it's a bizarre experience.
Do you feel that can mess with you? Like you have to go in there now because you've got so many different areas to go. In this place, like an absolute monster. Like you're like, right, no, my plan is this today. Like you could be distracted by this class on over here, or this martial arts cage, or all the machines here, all the weights over here, or maybe I'll go swimming today, maybe use the bike track to running. Do you feel like you really have to get your shit down and go, right, this is what I need to do now towards like have you set that you talked for in a podcast about setting the two Ironmans at the end of the year?
Two
Um
marathons.
Two marathons at the end of the year, sorry.
Yeah.
You have anything back to back? You have anything leading up to that now, or is it just like I just needed to figure my way around the gym, try and take advantage of what is in front of you? Because like you's right, man. I swear to God, if you don't come back chiseled and sub 3 hour marathons the next time I see you, pal, in person, you're getting an almighty smack in the back of the head. I'll tell you that right now.
I still like Chinese and cake though, so it's but it's no, in terms of facility wise and utilizing what is there
Mm.
in the gym I was in here in the apartment, an absolute perfect gym, and I've put up videos. It was absolutely fine. As soon as four people come into it, then
Yeah.
we've got the issues. Then I'm starting to go, I can't do that exercise now, and I'm thinking on the spot. Now the 16 kilo is gone. Okay, I'll use the 14. I'll add in more reps. That's not happening. Now I've got so much choice to isolate certain parts of movements that
Mm.
I'm adding in more into a workout. So
Mm.
the workout is getting longer, more specialized. I'm instead of trying to squeeze just upper body, lower body, I'm now breaking it down into different parts because I can. The
Mm.
facility is there. And it mentally keeps me interested as well because it's a long week when you're working out there. But also part of the facility is Like so people are listening going, geez, it must be great to be able to train all day. Like it's like we're getting there at 5:30 in the morning, we're getting the training in, and then I'm spending 4 hours, 4.5 hours on the laptop. And then my lunchtime, I go for my lunchtime training, and then my evening time back on the laptop, and then the evening time it's back into another session as well, similar to how I would have operated at home. But the beauty is there's no transit time. I'm
Yeah,
there. It's creche for Eric. Katie drops me there. I'm left there, and that's
that's
it.
fair.
It's and I'm getting good work done. And yeah, it's just a great place to be around. It is absolutely amazing. And
I
a
was
little bit sad because I want to do CrossFit just to see what it's like. I
Oh,
want to
here we
do
go.
CrossFit.
Like I said, gonna influence you in different stuff. And then
Yeah,
you brought it. I
yeah.
swear, if I catch you doing one reel doing a kipping burpee, man, I'm gonna fly over there myself.
And that's the bit where it comes down. And do you know what?
Or a
That's
kipping
someone
pull
else's heaven.
up.
For me, the pool, the track, the weights, and the cycle track is my heaven. And to be honest, there's not many around me, I don't think, who will be training in that field. There's a lot of people who are there for the muscles, for the CrossFit. I'd say I'm one of very few who are there for a
Uh-huh.
triathlon or marathon purpose. So I'm going to excel in that and use the facility to excel in that so people can look at me and go, that guy does Ironman. What's he doing? And,
Hmm.
and that's what you want to do. Like, I'm not going to compete with the guys who are 5 times the width of me and they're benching God knows what, or the CrossFit Kings, high rock, all that kind of stuff. I'm not interested in it, but I do think the facilities are
That's good.
amazing. Makes you want to do it. It's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, just narrowing down so far the plan is good. I'm down 4% body fat in the
Oh
first 5 weeks.
wow.
So we went from 25% down to 20%, and we did
And
the
how are
in-body.
you measuring that? Oh, in body.
So first was me doing the calipers, and then we went with the in-body test. The calipers that seem to have aligned similar. The weight is that held the same, which is good because I'm feeling stronger. I'm lifting very heavy, which I haven't done in years.
Hmm.
We got a leg press of 250 kilo in the gym the other day, so that was good. Um, like for me, when I see other people doing the leg press, it's like 60, 70 kilos. Like, oh, I wonder what I could do when we get up to 250 for 6 reps. So that was a good sign for me that I'm doing okay at the minute. There's no need to be cutting to be eating just lettuce and air and water at the minute. Just keep ticking over. We've now reduced the fizzy pop to just the weekends and slowly introducing the nutritional element around it, and the consistency is there, the new environment and the training will build. So it's great for me, and it's winter time here, so 24, 25 degrees. So I was the only person in the swimming pool for the day because they all thought it was too cold to get into the pool. I was like,
This
"Hey,
is
me flip
brilliant.
flop, happy days, here we go." Um,
Unbelievable, Jeff.
oh yeah, yeah. So all in all, facilities wise, there's no excuses now. There's absolutely zero to give out about. It has to happen now. There has to be some PBs this year.
100%. Are you talking about PBs now? When you did the in-body and you're noticing the weight going down, the muscle mass, is that starting to go down? Is that starting to go up? What's happened there now? Because you're starting to train heavier, so I'm thinking the muscle might actually go up for you. Whereas just the reason I'm saying that is that, like, we're going to talk about in a second what I'm doing this upcoming weekend, but like, in the last month or so, I've dropped over a kilo, but a lot of that's been muscle. And man, it's depressing. Like, everything's going the way I needed to go for my running, but like, my bench is there. I did 90 for three there recently. And oh, it was a struggle getting the tree. And like like a couple months ago, and I have on Instagram 170 and a half for one. Like that would actually kill me right now if I
Yeah.
attempted to have that straight arm. But like, and I just have to get over myself. Like, okay, this is what you're training towards. But I suppose for you, because you haven't done much strength training in a while, I mean, like heavy strength training. You still have that kind of like that window of maybe the weight goes down, the muscle mass might go up. Is that what's happening for you at the moment on your in
Yeah,
body?
the muscle mass is going up because I am lifting heavy. The cardio hasn't been endurance, it's been more short, sharp.
Mm.
So I've been getting on the treadmill and doing like 2K, 6.5% is what I'm up to now. And what speed can I do it at without dying? I joined an Adidas club, as we met Adidas, if you're listening, Million Euros of Commercial Podcast. But I joined that club and the beauty is they're into short, sharp stuff. They're
Mm.
building a season. They're through their marathons and now they're about speed work. So the strength and speed work seems to be balancing really well. I'm feeling really strong. I haven't lost weight, but the difference
Muscle
in
mass, body fat. Yeah.
mirror is noticeable. And that's a good 4 weeks for me. So yeah, so far it's been a nice change. I'm accepting the fact that I'm not going to be an 82 kilo person, so I'm going to train with the weight I have and try and be powerful with that weight and then build the endurance around that power. So for this little phase, it's about speed work because there's no plans, there's no race booked, there's no anything. It's about power, consistency, strength, and then we will try and make that longer over the next couple of months and build the endurance around that power and around that strength.
It sounds like you've just got all these toys and you're after walking in the biggest smiths of all time. And it's like, right, forget all these endurance goals. I'm just doing shit I really enjoy doing right now.
Yeah.
Everything else is further down the line. Like your 2 marathons, I mean, that's, oh my God, that's another 10 months away. You don't even need that to think about marathon training plans for at least another, what, 20 weeks off the top of my head. I could be well wrong with maths there. But like, you don't have to think about any of that kind of stuff right now. It's just like, let's just play with all these toys and do what I can and start enjoying fitness again. It sounds great, man. You got the buzz.
And that is it, yeah, and that is it. Like the swim, I did a 600-meter swim the other day, and it hurt. I was like, how did I swim 4K? You know, I was just doing paddle intervals, and then I just said, you know what, there's 600, I'm done. Because I'm going for a run tomorrow morning. So I watched the Ireland match, which is obviously on the Friday night. So for me, it started at midnight. So I was out till 3 o'clock, up at 5 o'clock to go on a run through the
Ah,
old street with the
jeez.
Adidas club. So it was no, I wasn't drinking. Like I haven't
Uh,
really drank since I've been here, but it's going on a run with 40, 50 people through the souks, and there's a nice reel I'll put up during the week for people to see what it's like. And it's just amazing. And it's just you're
mm.
meeting more people. And I'm going back for a 10 o'clock nap with 13 kilometers in the bank. I've watched the Ireland match. I'm not hungover, and I've trained 6 days. So Sunday was actually my rest day, which was really weird because Sunday's supposed to be
Long
I'm
run
supposed to
Sunday.
be running 40 kilometers today. But no, but I'd done 6 days of 2 days and strength training every day and running, cycling. So yeah, really, really, really enjoyable. Really enjoyable week.
Good to hear. Speaking of long run Sunday, I got me 20K in this Sunday, and I pulled back a small bit because this coming Saturday is the Irish National 50K event that I am in, not because I'm at that elite level. Don't get me wrong, I just paid my way to sign into it. But someone that is in that event is our next guest on this podcast today, and that is Ian Fitzgerald. Ian Fitzgerald not only was in this race last year, he came second with 3 hours and I want to say 3 hours and 11 minutes or something we talked about in the podcast. Not too sure in those numbers, but you're going to hear in a minute how right or wrong I am with that one because we had that interview a couple of weeks ago. And this is a real fun episode, Eric.
Yeah, it's a really good one. And it's good because we get to slag you even more. So it's really, really good. But I think when we recorded this episode, it gave you a good burst of motivation to give this a
Mm.
go, to give this race and a couple of tips. So anyone who's kind of doing this event like yourself, you're a week out. So the fitness is the fitness, but there is little nuggets that are gonna probably give you a little bit of a guide.
Yeah, 100%, especially with the laps and stuff like that, and just talking to different people, the atmosphere, you're constantly going back to near that start line and hearing the roar in the crowds and all the rest that goes with it. And even time for probably more so my end, not Ian's end, having that quick little break of a little bit of solid food. Whereas like in a marathon, try like you know yourself from this past October, trying to meet people at a certain point was an absolute nightmare. Trying to get through the city and not everything else. This you just plonk yourself down the same spot. Seán comes barely around the corner. There's a couple of Jaffa cakes, 30-second breaking off. I go again. But the one thing that's mad about all this is that like I've done 50Ks in the past. I've never done a 50K race, but all my 50Ks have been like 6 hours and whatever it is. Maybe it's like the Sugarloaf, the 80K going through, and I did like six, whatever it was. So when I'm talking to people about it now, it's like, oh, you gotta do 50K. You gotta do 50K within 5 hours. And they're like, oh sure, that's grand. That's no bother to you. You're able to do that. You did a 3:30 marathon. I'm like, well, when I did a 3:30 marathon, I was crippled and I wasn't able to go another step. And that was also a year and a half ago. Like I'm not that fit guy I was back then. I'm doing a little bit better. And they're like, oh well, you did Dublin Marathon this year. How did you get on? I'm like, not great, 4:10. And they're like, that's loads of time. That's 50 minutes to get another 8K in. That's no bother. I'm like, once again, when I passed that finish line, not I wasn't as bad as I was for 3:30, but I started to go down to 6:30, 6:45 minute paces. And I'm like, I don't know if no, I know another 8K was, I would have got there, but not in the 5 hours. So that genuinely is the big challenge for me. I want to do it in 4:45 to put that out there. So I'm going to start at around the 5:35, 5:40 pace to give myself time, like I said, to have that minute or two break, bit of food, stretch it out, go again, as opposed to, I think if I do that, I'm less likely to hit a wall if I fuel it right and take my little breaks in between and use that advantage of having people there every 5 or 6K rather than rushing around and just seeing the odd kid with a jelly and be like, I'll take that for now and hopefully something good's around the corner. So that's the plan right now. Obviously, I need to be a sub 6 minute pace overall, because 6 minutes 10, all the rest. So I need to be a sub 6 minute pace overall to get under the 5 hours.
I think though as well, I think to give you credit, when you're crossing a marathon line, your brain knows 5K,
Yeah.
3K, 2K, 1K pub. Like in this one, in fairness, when you know you've 50 to do, you will start to do the maths, you will start to dig
Mm,
in, you will start to do everything else in the meantime to get you there. And like you've been in some bad places, and I suppose that's why people like listening to us, is because we put ourselves in bad, dark places. And then we talk to these beautiful athletes that do such great things like Ian
yeah.
in this podcast. And it's just, it's nice for us to be there as the control to like what it's like. So I think you're going to be okay. And I think with the tips you got as well, you've done a little bit. You do have some
Mm,
miles in the legs, and I think the strategy you're going out with is good. And it is a lap, so you'll learn the lap.
yeah.
So you'll know through the marathon time, you've only got one more lap. You have to get to the finish line again and get around one more time.
Mm.
And whatever you need to do that, I think you'll find it. I'll be disappointed if you're not 4:59:59 now.
I will say this, and I swear this is true. Ever since I signed up to this race, I've been manifesting this. As in, I'm going to get to the starting line, I'm going to have me CSF hoodie on me, and underneath it is the 49ers tank top, because the 49ers are going to be the Super Bowl that weekend, which they are. I'm going to have this race done, 4:45, and the next day I'm going back home to Wicklow, couple of beers to pops, and watch the 49ers win the Super Bowl. That has been my big goal forever since I signed up this race a couple of months back. I have manifested this weekend. I know there's a lot of different manifestations from the two teams themselves that have an influence in who wins the game, because my shit means absolutely nothing. But in my head, it means everything. That's in my head. I'm going to get 4:45 or lower or better on Saturday. If I do, you better go out there, put money on it. The 49ers win the Super Bowl. Hell, double it and say Brock Purdy MVP. That's all I got to say. With that said, let's talk to an expert. That is Ian Fitzgerald on this week's episode of the Any Given Monday podcast. Let's go. So this week on the Any Given Monday podcast, we have long distance and Irish international runner, as well as finishing second last year in the National 50K Championship in Donadea, which I will be picking his brain on in this week's episode of the Any Given Monday podcast. Ian Fitzgerald, welcome to the podcast. How are we getting on?
Thanks, and thanks for having me on board. Yeah, really good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad, mate. Just to get an idea, and I could be wrong in the story about who you are and how much you push yourself. You had a 3:46 marathon, and then you went to Gary O'Halloran and were like,
Yeah.
instead of going to, I want to get trained up to 3:30 or maybe even get a sub 3, you told Gary you wanted to go straight into a 2:30 marathon for 3:46. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah. You'll be right saying that. I actually stood on his doorstep and I goes to him. Now Gary looked at me and he thought I was mad at the time. I goes, I'm telling you now, but in 5 years' time, I was 31 at the time. I said, when I'm 35, I'm gonna run 2:30 marathon. He goes, yeah, all right, no worries. And he just took me money and he's just laughing at me. And he's saying, you're off the head, But yeah, no, but now he thinks he knows that I will break the 2:30, but who knows where I'll end up with it now, I'm hoping to go further, you know.
And what inspired you to go 2:30 instead of just going, sub 3? What made you go from that 3:46 marathon to go, right, I got to get 2:30? Because that's a
So
huge.
so I didn't this was early doors and I didn't know much about running. You know what I mean? I'm very naive, very green. But I noticed everyone around me were running 2:40s, like under 2:40, and I was like, everyone's doing that. I want to go 2:30. You know what I mean? And then I came to the quick realization that it's not as easy as I thought it was. You know,
Mm.
I was like, because I'm fast, naturally fast, but I never had the endurance. So I've been through like trying to build my endurance. I've been through tough blocks trying to build that endurance, and it seems to be working now. But yeah, that was good. I always reflect on that day, and I'm getting closer to it. I will reach breaking 2:30. I got very close to in Berlin, but it just didn't happen. These things happen, you know yourself, Seán. When you
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
up there, you think, it's just everything was perfect. The block went well, and then it just stuffed that week. Like I fell ill that week, and then it just didn't happen. But I was delighted to get 2:31. Like I don't know how I got 2:31 in the end out in Berlin, but like it was like unbelievable. It was unbelievable
Class.
experience out in Berlin. I know Michael said he wasn't really fond of Berlin,
I was going
but
to get to that.
Berlin is a different experience. Like walls of people all the way around. There's no gaps. Like and the
Yeah.
support is unbelievable. You know,
For the
so I'd
whole
have to
thing.
disagree with him. That the whole thing. There's not one gap where there's no person on that road. You know,
Yeah.
it's great. It's really good. It's like a carnival of running. Like I got to meet Kachobi's Patrick. Met Patrick and all over there while we were running around. Kachobi ran by us. We were running with Kachobi for about 2 minutes. Like it's just
Jesus.
open. It's open season. It's great. So if you are going to Berlin, I'd recommend going on the Wednesday. Like try to get over there early because all the athletes, all the Kenyans and all that come over early and they do train around the park around there. And if you're jogging around the park, you're definitely going to meet them. They go at about 6:30 in the morning. So if you're up at 6:30 jogging around, you're going to meet them 100%. And then the
Deadly.
day before the marathon, we were like literally doing our strides with all the Adidas Pro athletes.
Class.
You know, yeah, it was really good. It was my first time doing it. It was really good. You
And
know?
you said your son is, Seán mentioned it was 31. Had you been running before that, or was it 31 is just, right, I'm looking for something and I want to take on a marathon? Or what got you?
So I was always I had a background in sports. I played football a lot, but like when I played football, all I did was run. I was I was the defensive midfielder, breaking up tackles, all that. I was never like technically gifted, like with a ball passing or anything like that. Like it was just break up the play, pass the ball over, and I just ran for days on the pitch. So in my head, I said to myself, when I hit 30, I'm giving up this because anyone I know that plays football after 30 gets broke up.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not going to be that, like, running around with a knee strap on me backside, bitch, rubbing wintergreen. Do you remember wintergreen? Rubbing wintergreen on their legs and ankles to keep themselves warm. I said, that's not me. You know? I said, I need to find something. And I needed an outlet. I just didn't want to be sitting still, you know. So I said, I'll give running a go. In my head, that's what my plan was. I didn't know what it was going to entail. So I started to do like 5Ks here and there. I didn't even do a full 5K. I was one of them that ran with the app on, like the Under Armour app. I'd have it on my phone.
Yeah,
I'd
the
run.
Nike
I'd get
Run
to
app
two
and
and a
all that.
half K and I'd pause it. And then I'd repause it and I'd be telling people, oh, I ran 5K. Like, you know what I mean? But I didn't really run it. I did run it, but I didn't do the time that I was saying I was doing. And then I quickly snapped out of that because like it was like that's not the way to do it. But then it wasn't until there was a nurse in my job, a palliative care nurse, Denise, said you'd love running in 2019. She said you'd love it. It's when you get to an event. Have you ever done an event? And I said no, I've never done an event. And then me and my wife Shauna, we signed up for the Irish 5 mile runner, and we did it. And I was like, this is deadly. This is unreal. And then when I went into work on Monday, I told Denise, and then she goes, why don't you not sign up for Dublin? They were doing lotto tickets at the time. You know, the lottery.
Yeah.
I was like, lotto tickets? Where'd you buy these lotto tickets to get into the marathon? Do I go out to London? Do I go out to the Spar? Do I buy them? And she said, no, it's a lottery because I'm not tech savvy, you know. So and she said, no, it's on the website. Go into it, and then I didn't get it. I didn't get in the lottery, but my auntie got unwell, and then I got in contact with my cousin again, my cousin Martin. He was there. We were down with the ICU with my auntie, and he was talking. I was telling him I was running and all that. It was great, and how disappointed I was in not getting into the lottery. And then he was up and he was talking about me to his barber. His barber is mad about running, you know. And he goes, "I am my cousin. He's disappointed he can't get in." He goes, "I'll get my number." Now the number was in someone else's name, but he got me a number. And from then 2019, I just was hooked. That was it. I got into Dublin Marathon, ran 3:46. Only trained up to 15 miles, and like I got a bad injury. I got like runner's knee because I was like straight into the fall. Like I think the first long run was with the lads, and his name is Damo. I wouldn't be running now, Damo Doyle, and he like straight away I was with them around 15 miles. My first ever long run with them at like 8-minute pace. Couldn't even walk down the stairs after. I was like thrown right into the deep end. I said, "What's wrong with my legs?" I was walking down Seán's mad stairs. I said, I'm broke. I don't know what's wrong with me. All the lactic acid, all the DOMs, everything was just stuck in my legs. And I was like, what is going on here? And I just loved it. And I just kept going. It took me about 3 days to walk again. Never mind. They were asking me to go on an 8-mile run then. I was like, what's going on? These lads are mad, you know?
But it's mad when you get a sense of that, though, when you get so humbled by something and then they're like, oh, we're going again tomorrow. And you're like, what? You know, that's a driving factor in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, them lads, like, those great ones. We call ourselves like the Axe Crew, you know? They were based out of Waterstown Warriors, and they took me in. Without them giving me the foundation of where, like, I ran with them for about 2 years, and all it was like 3 times a week. We meet on Monday, we meet on a Friday, and then a Sunday, you know? But with all that, then that's what gave me all the foundation. I started learning off these boys and saying, this is actually good, you know? I really like this. And like I had no watch, had no nothing. I was just going out and running, and it was great. I was just getting runners high and pushing myself, and it was great, you know.
What was the biggest misconception you had about running before you jumped in with those boys? Because you're talking about lads that you said were doing like 240 and stuff like that, or was that later on? Like, what you
that was later on. I had no idea about times, had no concept of paces, had nothing. Like I was so naive, I was so green, didn't understand that. And it's only the lad Damo Doyle I was like, whatever, I'll be forever grateful for him. He literally took me underneath his wing. You know, he was the fastest runner at the time, and he used to just put you down. Like he used to push it to your max and try to get the best out of it, you know. But if he didn't teach me everything, he gave me a pair of Vaporflies to run me first marathon in. And I was like, what are these runners? Like, now the green Vaporflies. I paid him for them. He goes, yeah, so like I didn't have much money at the time, you know. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, just throw me 50 quid a week. And like stuff like that. Like, he's so kind, you know. And I didn't know what the runners are all about, you know. And that was, they were a different level when I put them on me. I was like, and now I'm hooked. I don't know whether to thank him or like he's had to put me into a bad hole, because anytime Nike put out the new runners now, I'm all over them, you know.
You're like Anto, head to toe with Nike as well.
No. I'm more Sace guy. You know, Sace guy is quality gear, you know.
Oh, okay.
It's really good. But Nike runners good. I'll wear any runners that will help me. So I think the Nike runners are really pricey at the moment. So I wouldn't I train like me long runs and me speed sessions in carbon plates. So I would at the moment I'm using the Prime X's. It's just, I know they're like 2 inches illegal, but I wear them in training because they just save your legs better, and they were only €150, so they're half the price of the Nike Alpha Flies. So it just makes sense, you know. And then just take the Alpha Flies, keep them up for races. You know, I'm not really runners. I always give an honest opinion. Like the Alpha Fly Twos are shite. They're absolutely crap. They give you heat spots on your toes. They give you blisters underneath your foot, underneath your forefoot where the bubble is. Like absolutely brutal. My feet are in bits over them. And I beat Alpha Fly 1 are unbelievable. Best one I ever put my foot.
Yeah, and just the twos weren't as good.
Twos weren't as good. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say Alpha Flies is one of those things where I see the price, I'm like, I'm not that good of a runner to justify that. It was like when I was a kid, I was like, I want the Adidas Predators. I'm like, just get the Umbro. I'm not ready for that yet.
Umbro all black, that'll do me. Yeah. Well, I was the opposite. I went to World Cups when I was younger because I couldn't afford the Predators. They're €200, so they're like half the price. Give me the World Cups.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. Or the 90 ones. But sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking back of all my football boots. I was a Copa Mundial man and never changed. Yeah. Always wore them. Never changed. Oh, no. But it's mad, like I'm getting into the running like this, and people are like, oh, have you tried out the Cloud9 and this, that, and the other? And I'm looking at them like, And it's only that we're talking about football boots. I could name every football boot in the world. And now there's that many different choices of brands and runners. I'm like, no, you have me.
So it's all
I'm
about
not.
finding what works for you. That's what I find, you know. I think the on runners are great for walking around in, but I wouldn't put them on my feet if I was running them. I think the lockdown on them is too loose, and you get a lot of ankle issues on them, you know.
I found I use every so often. Well, obviously, I'm not my run is struggling, but when I get tired, I'll clip my ankle every so often. But I found the on runners were actually slicing my ankle. I'd be covered in blood after a run in them if I was doing it long distance. Yeah, but again, I think they're a good strolling around shoe, but I haven't gone back to them. I did try them for a season.
They look great. They look great, but they're not. They don't do great when you're running around them. I ran in them once. I've been on cloud as well. I ran in them once, and I didn't like them. So I walk around with them every so often. I haven't even put them on my feet in months. But I don't think they're great for it. The lockdown isn't great. And when I used to play football, I used to go out my ankle all the time. So I'm very prone to go out my ankle. And with them runners, I go over them all the time.
So someone listening to the podcast that doesn't run that much, who's getting into running now, any particular band you recommend to them, or do you say go get checked out?
Nah, like everyone, like money isn't everything, you know. Everyone thinks like just because it's so dear. I'm always like this. Someone like, if you're getting into running, it can be pricey. I say, don't go out buying the expensive watch. Don't go out buying the expensive shoes. I go like, look, my first watch I bought in CEX, but I waited for a few months till it was 80 quid for the watch. I waited till I was in on that, you know, because everyone goes through fads of like hobbies. Make sure it's not a fad. Make sure you're into it because it's a pricey fad. You don't ever see people that go off. I have to be careful because I curse a lot. So I was going to say fuckers. That go out and buy like all the fishing gear. Next week they're going out, they're playing golf gear and all that. Like it's a pricey game when you like get like 300 quid for a pair of runners. All that 300 quid's add up, you know. Especially when you're only meant to get 500 kilometers in the shoe, like, you know.
Yeah, I remember talking to a lifeguard before, and it was like working the pool. It was like the one you need to worry about is not the one that just comes in any old gear. It's the one that comes to real flashy, new, shiny gear, like the trunks and all the rest, because they're just after getting into this fad, and they're going to do something silly that you have to look out for, rather than the person who's just wearing the same old clothes, whatever, popping in. You said you're not too tech savvy and stuff, but you have a bit of experience in VO2 max testing.
Yeah.
How has that helped your running?
I don't particularly use that in my runners, Sean. You know, what I do, I just do the tests as a favor for data. You know, I get involved with that. You know, I think, me personally, I think the more information you have, you can get caught up in it. Like you could have a cold, you could have something coming up, you could be a bit run down, and then all of a sudden you're just looking at your watch. I'm all for not looking at your watch. I'm all for listening to your body, running around, running at a comfortable conversational pace, real easy. That's the way I kind of work with me. I like 80% of my runs are all easy. I do like one long run that's really like, it depends how long it is. If it's fast, it'll be near like go marathon pace or go race pace. And if it's like longer than like say 20 miles, say it's 22, 24, it'd be 10 to 15 seconds slower, you know. And then I'm getting that effort, and that it'd be the same as like threshold and whatnot, you know. And then I'm 10 seconds faster on tempos, long tempos on a Tuesday or something like that, just to get me comfortable, you know, at faster paces.
And you've said you listen to the body and conversational paces, but obviously your conversational pace has changed a hell of a lot since your first day on his doorstep to now.
So I just don't look at me watch. I run the pace wherever anyone is around me. Like, so whatever my company is, if you're a 6 minute kilometer, or I run the miles, but I'm just gonna say 6 minute kilometer, or say 9 minute mile, and just off the bat, I'll be running with you. I don't mind. Like, I'll run. Like, I'm all for time and distance. It doesn't matter. The body doesn't know pace. The body only knows time and distance, you know. That's the way I work. So like I'd be just there chatting away and just running with the company I'm in. So whether it be 5 minute pace kilometer or 6 minute pace kilometer, it doesn't matter, you know. Recovery easy is easy, you know. I think people push easy runs too much, you know. It's all for show, it's all for Strava, or it's all for Instagram, you know. It's not good. You're gonna get injured. The body can't absorb stress constantly, you know.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you can see it with those who are, and they have all the extra, as you said, all the equipment, all the information. They're like, easy run. And it's like, is it? Heart rate, 170. Yeah, me, but
Yeah.
get out of it.
Now, to be honest with you, the watches ain't great for that. So unless you have a strap on you, you can't really take for granted that the heart rate is that, because like if the cold gets underneath the watch, if the sweat underneath the watch, that throws the heart rate off. Because I'd be running around easy, and like all of a sudden I'd be looking down, my watch would be saying like it's 171. I'm saying I'm nowhere near that. Like I'm 120, 28 max here, because I'll be talking like we are here now, you know. So like technology can be wrong sometimes as well. So that's why I'm not mad on it, you know.
Yeah, the start of all my easy runs, for the first, I have a strap and all on me now, through my zone. But for the first 5-10 minutes, I will be up at 170, 180, and I'll be going a 6-15 kilometer pace. I'll be like, there's no way my heart's near that, and then it'll start to come down and it'll trickle and stuff. And I suppose with GPS, where you are as well, it's not going to be the exact pace if you're in a forest and something like that. But speaking of forest, we're going to jump straight ahead to last year. You were in Donadea for the National 50K Championships. And your time was unbelievable. You came second in that. Just because I'm doing it next month, the last 10-15K, you struggled a bit with nutrition and cramping. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah. So
what went on?
So in Donadea, look, I'm a bit green when it comes to nutrition. You know what I mean? I don't really take it serious. I have started taking it serious now recently, but I'll get back to you on that. I just was taking on too much, and I took on too much, and then like my body just felt like I was gonna get sick and all. And then when I needed it and I was becoming depleted, I started cramping. My calf cramped with a lap and a half to go, where I actually physically had to stop. And I literally, I slapped my calf, and I goes, for fuck's sake, come on. Because I knew I was in second. I was like, don't give this up. You know what I mean? Like if your leg falls off here, you're going. You know what I mean? Keep going. And that's the way it was. Is if you have to just limp in, you're limping. You just get it done. And lucky enough, it didn't happen, but I couldn't push on where I wanted it, you know. But like that whole week, I tried something different that week in that before Donadea, where like this is the thing, when you like there's loads of people around you, loads of people have a lot of views and opinions. You need to be careful whose opinions you let in, you know. So I was like, someone was saying to me, you're not tapering enough. Like, I don't know what made me listen this week, and I said, you know what, I'll try something new. You know what I mean? And I tapered a little bit more, and I went into Donadea style, as in like my legs didn't feel like they had a pop. When I was running around at paces that I was like doing in training, it just felt real. Like 2 laps in Donadea, I thought, this is gonna be a slog today. I just felt real heavy, my legs, everything. But like it was a tough day, but like it was very rewarding, you know.
I mean, 3 hours 11 minutes for 50K is some pace.
The best moment in that whole race was when one of the lads that I trained with, Wayne, came in. He came in after me, and like we literally embraced each other. It was great. Like we trained all together for that build up. So Wayne Waldron, he's another ultra runner, and he's doing the 100K. He actually got picked for the ACP again. So he's going over to Scotland with for the Irish team again. So he came through. And it was just great, you know, like, and all our family, his wife was there, my wife was there. It was great. It was a great day, you know.
Before the podcast, we were talking about it a little bit, and you obviously were there a couple of weeks ago doing the full marathon. That you said that's pretty much like your backyard. Well, I didn't say that, but like you did a lot of different training and stuff there leading up towards the 50K.
Yeah, well, last year I never went near it, but like in 2020 was the first time I did Donadea. I did Donadea. That was so why I love Donadea is it's the first race I ever did. The atmosphere is unreal. The whole like Anto Lee. I don't know. Do you know Anto Lee well?
That's it.
He's like, oh no, he's great. Him, John O'Regan, and Jennings. They are trying to push it. Like they put on like so. Anto works for pop-up races. And he's trying to like get ultra racing out there. He's trying to raise the standard in the bar in Ireland to like get ultra races to the standard it needs to be, and let like Athletics Ireland like to push them on, you know. But he he puts on events. Like recently, he put on the 24 New Year's event. Did you hear
Through the
about
year,
that?
through the
Yeah,
years,
yeah,
out
through
league
the
stuff.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So he's doing all that so people can get qualifying time to enter Worlds and the Europeans. So like they do great fundraising for it. Like they really are trying to push the standard. They're great people, you know. Like, and he's a character himself. You know what I mean? He's funny. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's the whole like no calves, no sleeves, no arm sleeves, no like he takes the piss out of you, but he's a genuine bloke. He's funny, you know.
Now I know you're
His
talking
heart is
about.
in the right place, you know. You
Yeah, he
know him now,
has.
do you?
I know of him. I've never met the guy. I've seen like the Facebook groups and stuff for
Yeah,
get under 5 fucking hours and that kind of thing. And anyone
yeah.
that's wearing the calf sleeves or anything like that, they give him abuse and just like be like,
Yeah.
see me wear these in the run today in the park.
And they live up to it. Like he's so the MC when you run around with castles, he roars abuse at you. Saying, what are
That's
you doing with
Anto, is
them
it?
on? No. That's
Oh,
the other MC. And he
that's
say,
it.
oh, you're not meant to be here with them. Get them off you. Like so he does. They live up to it. The whole atmosphere is great. Like and like the whole 5 hour thing. Did you see the video of it, the woman coming on these 5 hours last year? Now?
Yeah, like 2
Yeah, I've seen
seconds
it.
or
I think
something.
the fitness gurus has it up on his page. It
Yeah.
was him who recorded it. It's epic, like that is some buzz, like you know.
The amount
Like
of people
that,
screaming.
it's unreal, man. You know. And then like that woman getting underneath the 5 hours. I don't know her personally. Maybe that was a goal. I don't know. But like that, it for like I think it was 1 million views of that video. Like to see
Jeez.
how it's epic, like you know what I mean? Like it's unbelievable, like you
It's
know.
class.
I can't put it. But what was I saying? What was the question? That's all you just go. I'm gonna go off the tangent here
I have a
constantly.
few different
You know?
questions off that, but how you set for it this year? I suppose we'll go with it with the 50K.
Yeah, like so I've figured out what the best training is for me and what I'm getting the best out of myself recently. Like, and as I said to you, is like mainly easy running with like a Tuesday session and then a Saturday long run kind of session, you know, depending on the day. And then obviously trying to up my mileage, you know, like I'm around 100 miles a week ish, a little bit like under, but I had to build up to that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling fit. I'm getting fitter each block, and like I'm getting like it's good. So I'm happy with like making slow process over a long time because I don't want to risk getting injured. Like the fear I'd have is like if I was younger, like because I'm 45 now, my fear is getting like tired and something and being off, not being able to run for ages, you know and not making any process. So I like little steps. So that's why I don't push the boundaries. That's why I'm not out there trying to do 1K reps in 3 minutes and all. I think that's
Gotcha.
the kind of stuff that gets you injured. You know,
Right.
so I know where I can end up in 10 years time if I keep going on the path I am, and I'm willing to play the weight game and get there. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter when you get there. Once you get there, you know.
How is your tapering going to be different this year?
Well, I come up with this tape. Like myself and Gary come up with a taper that works great for me. I kind of like do high miles in 2 days before, like Monday and Tuesday. Monday I might do a light little double. Tuesday I'll do a not like 8 mile, 9 mile run, and then Wednesday I'll start tapering. It's like a short taper, and then there's like the legs will be poppy then, and then like kind of do a light session on the Thursday before. And I'll do a Wednesday. So if it's the Sunday, I'll do a session on the Thursday. If it's a Saturday, I'll do a session on the Wednesday. I'll just be live session, like probably 1K reps, like we're going 330 pace, something like that. So just to get legs moving over, you know.
Slightly different definition of light me and you have, but yeah, fair enough.
And then I'll take a rest day probably on that Thursday then.
Yeah.
Me and rest day, I probably won't actually. I never took a rest day before Berlin. Like it's just mad. If you get your taper right, like paces you struggle with, like so like going in your training just seem a bit easier. Everything seems great if you get the taper right. It's like this flow, and you're like it's a flow of disbelief that you're running so easy at paces that you thought were going to be hard. That's the word I was trying to. That's the sentence I was trying to think of.
That's
It's
a great
just
way to say it.
disbelief. Yeah, and you're waiting on things you're gonna say. this shouldn't feel this good. What the fuck's happening here? Why, like, why am I able to move so handy here? But
Yeah.
it's good.
You did Berlin. You said 2:31, but 2 months
Yeah.
before that, you did 2:34 in Cork. Was the
Yeah.
training blocks much different between the two of them? And like after Cork, were you
No
confident
difference.
for Berlin? No.
No. So the only difference with Cork was I had to be conservative because it was 20 degrees. Yeah, it was really hot, humid. Couldn't escape the sun. So I literally didn't push the body that well. I was smart, it was tactically smart. I just was throwing water on me whenever I can. That was probably the best without getting any advice, nutrition wise, and taking hydration on I've ever ran. Because usually me and heat is one thing. I'm gonna bunk. They're literally brutal in it. There was this woman. I'll forever be grateful for her. She's sitting there on a deck chair with a little freezer box, hands me a bag of ice, stick it on me hat. It's best underneath me hat. It's the best thing I ever done. Just killed me right down. She's a saint, whoever she is. We call her Saint Bridget. God knows, it could be Bridie. Who knows? But she was a saint, man. I tell you. So it was a God's gift. It was to me, And I just put on my hat. It was a bit awkward, but then start melting. It was great. It's the best thing. Then, and I always look back on that and I say, she was a saint of a woman,
But Cork was one of those things. I did it myself. Now, my idea of taking it easy was a 4:15, not 3-minute difference on the 2:30. But
yeah,
it was one of those days that you just knew from walking down. You're like, I think everyone knew. I think everyone had that little bit of fear going, this is not going to be nice. It just had that feeling of heat that us Irish people are just not used to, and it's just like, oh, this is going to be a different kind of day.
The last, I think it's from 23 mile in Cork. So that's the second time I do. I'll do Cork again this year. I like Cork, The last, is it 5K? I think we're thinking at 23 mile. So that long road there.
That long road is unreal.
I contemplated life a few times in that road. Even the first year I did it, and the second year I did it, I said, why? You question myself saying, what am I running for? Well, why are you doing this to yourself? Dude, the first year I did it, I was staying in that hotel. The first year I did it, the hotel you passed, you left.
Yeah,
I forget what it's called. I was staying in that hotel, and I was saying, "There's your hotel. Just go into it. Just go into your hotel, and this is all of it." And it was lashing out that year, it was pissing out, it didn't stop raining for all morning, and that year, and I was like, "Yeah, like a drowned rat here. Just go in, have a hot shower, and just that's it. Sure, you can run again tomorrow."
Why not for the wood medal at the end of it?
No, yeah, with the wooden medal. Now, come here, I'm not mad in medals, So it has my wife. I have loads of them up there. So we go around, and anytime I do a race, it's like, who can I give this medal to? So and it's always a little brother or a little niece or something like that. Say, hey, look at what I'm at the winning for you today. Here's a medal, and I could be giving it to them, just so I get rid of them. But I don't race that much either now, to be honest with you. I'll probably do a couple of races a year. I do about 3 or 4 main goal races a year. Everything else I do for the crack. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Having a bit of crack.
One of the races you did last year, or maybe I could be wrong on this. You did the ACP for Ireland last year, did you? The 100K?
I did, yeah. I got to represent Ireland in the 100K. Just the chance came along. It's I'm like, would I be able to do 100K? And you question yourself, 100K is a long pace. And I know I did 50, and I said, that's double that. And I was like, could you turn down? I wasn't doing it. And then I goes, could you, till you get the call, right? And I goes, will I do it? And then he rang me. As soon as you get the call that represent your country, yeah, can't wait to do it. That's what I said. I swear to God. And if you ask anyone that was around me, I say, nah, I'm gonna tell them I'm not doing it. Fuck that. I'll get injured. I'll be in bits. I'll be broke up for weeks. You know what I mean? And then he rang me. I wouldn't mind. I was in Gary O'Hanlon's house, and just about 3 days before, and I said, Gary, I'm not gonna do that. What's the point, man? I'll be broke up. And I think ultra is an older man's game. You know what I mean? I think I've a lot more to do in the marathon, and then I'd like to move on to ultras. You know what I mean? Because I like pushing myself, And And that's what I was saying to Gary. And then I rang Gary up after. I guess I'm doing the 100k. He goes, what? He rang me and told me got in. I couldn't say no. You can't be throwing down your vest. And he goes, come on, we do it, And so we did it. We kind of had a group, like the same group of lads, like me, Wayne, Pete Thompson, he's a lad from Belfast. He moved down to Dublin for me, If I didn't say that, he'd go mad. I met Pete at a couple of races, and all of a sudden he moved down to Dublin, But he's a great lad, He what you call it, but he definitely moved down to Dublin for me. Even his wife would say that. I met him the first time.
How do you follow up that question?
He COVID. After COVID, there was a 50k national champions up in the north, and the same thing. It was like Cork, it was really hot out, and Pete was up doing that race, and as I said, I was very green back then. I didn't know paces. I thought I could do paces that I couldn't do. You know what I mean? Until I started educating myself on what different paces were and what standards you need to meet. And I was like, I went up to the north thinking, I'm not finishing the top 3 here. I could win this very naively. You know what I mean? Because I'm a great believer in outdoor people in your outer group that aren't in your group. If you let them voices in, they can dictate you. You know what I mean? And that's what I was doing at that time. People that hadn't got a clue what they were talking about knew that I was fast. I had an 18-minute 5k. You were deadly at running. You know what I mean? You were unreal. And then when you let them voices come in, and then them distractions, then you start saying, maybe I'm deadly. Well, I wasn't deadly. You know what I mean? I was saying, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do it. It was this lad that I was running with at the time, And he was saying, definitely you can do this, you can do that. And then I started to believe it. Because you are a product of your surroundings. If you're around someone that's telling you you're deadly, you're gonna believe you're deadly, And I then went up the north and I met Pete. And Pete, I didn't know Pete at the time, and I was racing him. He didn't know I was racing him at the time, but I ended up blowing up. The heat was roasting him. He was ahead. I did my best to get ahead of him, and I got ahead of him. And then we were having this back and forth race. Now he completed the race. I DNF. I blew up because of the heat. But that's when I first met him, and then I met him again down in Donadea in 2021. He bet me down there as well. I let him have that one. He bet me for 15 seconds. I went all too fast, and he went by me again. And then he happened to move down to Dublin by chance, and we made contact through Strava, and we've been training ever since.
Has that brought you on in terms of advancing you a little bit? Not to give him a big header, and we'll get him on next week.
We get him on next week. No, to be honest, I think the more you start progressing, the more people at that level, you start tracking them kind of people around you, and then you start to form a group. So I've always had ambition to start up groups. There's always been my ambition to get a group together and get them running, and then that's how that kind of happened. I think running is a solo game when you're out there on your own, but I think with people around you, you can get you can benefit so more. They bring you on, So the likes of Pete came along, then it was me and Wayne, him and Pete, and then Gary started getting involved with us, and then we had the likes of Anto then coming along, and it's great. The way I met Anto was, so I joined Instagram. I'm not on Instagram long. My best mate just kept going, you need to get on Instagram. You need to be showing people what you're doing. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I'm not interested. I wasn't on social media, nothing. Never. I'd grown up, I was like, couldn't be arsed. When I was on it, the people on Facebook taking pictures of their dinner, I was like, I don't want to be seeing this shit. Why the fuck? If I want to see a dinner, I look at me man that making a plate of dinner. You know what I mean? I don't need anyone putting a picture of saying, look what I'm having for my dinner. You know what I mean? And I just got off very quick then. And then honestly, mate, no, I'm telling you now, just do it and do it for your running. And that's it. Ian is running. I used to watch that fella. Ben is running all the time. I said, yes, that's a catchy yoke. So that's when I put it up. I actually made a mistake then. I forgot the password, and what was it? It was Ina's running the first time around, and now it's Ina's running _1 because I forgot the password of the album. So that's where the _1 came from. Oh, stop! And so, like, I bought an iPhone. I got jealous of my wife. She got an iPhone for like she's a beautician and she's starting up at a shop, and she got it for her content, you know. I got jealous that she got an iPhone 14, and I goes, fuck this. And I bought myself an iPhone 14 then. And then I goes, I need to do something with this. You know what I mean? What am I going to do with this phone? How can I justify spending 1,200 quid on a phone? I goes, right, I'm at starting up Instagram. And then I just started following people while they're training. And that's how I got going on Instagram. And then how this is the long about story how I got to meet Anto. Nathan Ward, I don't know whether he's now Nathan Ward is. He's like an Iron Man, you know. He's doing like he's 920. Yeah, he's an animal. Yeah. He's 920 Ironman full there in Roth recently, you know. So he always texting him through Wayne, and he goes, "I'm gonna do it. Is it an FPT, isn't it? Where you test out your power." FCP, I'm doing it. I'm doing it at 4:30 in the morning. He said, and he goes, 4:30 in the morning. Now I'm mad. I never met him before, and I goes, yeah, I'll see you there. He's like, this fella isn't going to show up. What I mean, it was. See the way it is out now, freezing, -2. He's in a garage with a what you call a Swift bike set up and a turbo trainer set up. He didn't think I was going to show up. I text him, I'm outside your door. Me with my little iPhone, because I was just getting content of anyone doing fitness at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just putting it up. He's saying, "You're mad. Why you do?" He's just looking at me mad. I was just like, you want to see him going flat to the mat in the turbo trainer? And then me and him came really good mates. And then one day, Anto just came over him for one of the long runs. That's how we got Anto involved. Then it's just all happens naturally, you know.
The videos and stuff you're putting up lately have been absolutely quality there out in the Phoenix Park. You're doing the 3:38 paces the moment you're doing for your long runs and your Sundays. That's the Dublin Endurance Project. Is that you group?
Yeah. So me and Pete. So me and Pete and Gary came up with that DEP, you know, and that it's all about getting a group of lads together and then that are like aiming to be sub 230s. Or try to break that barrier or bridge the gap between like non-elite and sub-elite, and then seeing how far we can get with it, you know. And like the whole concept is getting a team, trying to work towards them goals together instead of being out in the park on your own, busting your bollocks and like hating it. Like once you have someone around you, I find it's easier to work with, you know, and no matter what level you're at, you know.
Are you working with that towards Seville? Sorry, Eric. Is that Seville Marathon you're doing that, or is that just Anto?
That's Anto and Gary doing that.
Okay.
Seville, you know. Yeah, and then there was a group of us doing Donadea. Pete got injured, so he's not doing that at the moment. He's more geared towards Belfast, excuse me, and his natural championship. And then it's me and Wayne. We're doing Donadea then. But I think Wayne is going to use Donadea as a training one for the 100k now.
Jeez.
Training it's mad, isn't it? Yeah, like when I look at it, it's like, but when I first got accepted like for the 100k, I felt the same way I did about the marathon at the time. I was like, how am I gonna finish this marathon? I'm only at the train up to 15 miles. Still have another 11 miles to go. So when I went past 15 miles, I was like, what's next? So I got in when I was training for the 100k, I only got 40 miles. It's like, I have 21 miles to run here. What's next? Like I didn't know. Like I just didn't know what was gonna happen. In the 100k, it turned out me and Pete. So me, Pete, and Wayne. It was like something out of Narcos. Me, Pete, and Wayne were sitting in this like dodgy B&B up in Antrim at the time where we were staying. Like the whole team was staying, and me and Pete were bagging up, like putting in like powdered carbs into the oak. Wayne just literally strapped a load of water around small bottles of water, and his nutrition went to tea. But I was like, Pete turned around me and goes, "Did I put nothing in that?" And Pete goes, "Nah, put a little bit more in it." And we like put the powder in. And I was like, Wayne was like, "It looks like he's a bagging up there, lads," you know. And I end up getting stomach issues over it because I was so naive, like to the 100k, like not realizing that I'm not going to use because I'm like. running slower. I'm not using as much energy. I'm not burning as much fuel. And then I was over fueling, and then my glycogen levels were going up. I ended up getting like a sugar plug, and I ended up getting sick. Everything during that race, like I was like running for 8 miles, and then like I told two people, I said, I'm not going to be able to finish this, you know. And then I went by me man and my wife and all that. And anytime I go by them, I was like, I look like this heart and soul. I was like, I'm in bits here. And he goes, go on, you can keep going. And then I'd go by them and I'd start walking again. It's like tormented soul. I was like, what am I going to do here? And then I got running a little bit more and the same thing happened. Then I got to the top of the hill and I like after telling like this lad Darden, because I'm done here, that's me done. And I got a bit of hot water into me. I dissolved the sugar plug. And then I got to the top of the hill and started running again. And then I was chasing down, like trying to do 7:30 again. It was just mad. I just a roller coaster of emotions in that day. Like,
Having had a day like that, is there a want to get a better performance on it?
yeah, so I toyed with the idea of going back over again today. But like as I was saying earlier on, like I got plenty of time to beat that. Like that day, I truly believe I could have done like the national record that day. I truly do believe. Like I was in shape for it. I went up there to do the experience. I didn't want to go out and blow up and then like be like, oh, why did I do that? You know what I mean? Like so, like Kieran, I forget his second name. He did the national championship that day. I think I could remember him that day, and I toyed with the idea the night before it whether to do it or not. And then Anto Lee, I was talking to him, the lad that runs pop-up races and all that, and he just said, "Yeah, why don't we just get an experience at it and then go at it again?" And then I thought, like, it's kind of unfinished business whether I want to do or not. And I just think 100k takes a lot out of you. Now, it didn't take a lot out of me because that day, I think it's because mainly I walk around for 8 miles, to be honest with you, and it didn't take much out of me. But like, I think if I went all out, it'd break me up, you know. Not as in break me up, I wouldn't be able to train probably for about a month, 6 weeks. I'm not willing to sacrifice that time because I need to progress in the marathon time. Marathon is where it's at. That's what I love, you know.
You said 2:30's the goal. You also said you're doing Cork this summer. Is that where you're going to make the next attempt for your 2:30, or do you have a different event eyed up for your 2:30, or whatever feels?
I'll do Cork. I kind of do all the same races every year now, you know. Kind of got into a routine that I found out what's good with me. I'll do Donadea, I'll go to Cork, and then I'll look for a winter like kind of race or even autumn like Dublin. Won't do Dublin. I kind of do that with Team Kobe, and then I'll always do that with Team Kobe now. So I'll never run Dublin competitively again. I'll always run that with Team Kobe, and then I will do Valencia this year. I'm aiming to do Valencia.
Some people say
so
that's
three main long races, 3 long races a year, like 3 marathons a year, like or 50k in thrown in that. So
Valencia, that's December, isn't it?
December 2nd.
December, yeah, not a hot one.
Yeah.
And where would you think you will get the 2:30? Or is it going to happen this year? What do you think?
Yeah, no, 100% happened this year. Well, you can never say 100% something's going to happen because I don't know about you lads. When you show up to a line, you just don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Long distance, like endurance sports, is mad. Anything can happen on the day. You know what I mean? But if I show up, everything works on the day. I definitely have the potential to break 2:30. You know?
Yeah.
All the stuff you know, Anto. All the stuff you know now. Looking back on that lad back in 2019, I was getting into running. If you had to tell him a couple of bits, you back in 2019, if you had to tell him a couple of bits of advice about getting into what you're getting into, what would you tell him?
Be patient. You're a product of your surroundings, and find someone you trust that guide you and stick with them. They won't steer you wrong. And that's what I got. I got that in the likes of Damo. I got that in the likes of Gary O'Hanlon, you know. But it's just the first 2 years I was just impatient. I stagnated in the second year where I was only running 2:47. And then I kind of wasn't with Gary and them that year. I was kind of getting frustrated. Left them, went with Noel Carroll. Noel Carroll's a good coach and he's a good bloke. It just wasn't for me, you know what I mean? And I then said, right, I went back to Gary after doing Donadea in 2021. I did 3:21. I said, now I made progress, but I went to Valencia that year in 2020, and I ran another 2:47. And I said, this isn't happening for me. You know what I mean? And that's because I was trying to rush it, not understanding the paces and what goes into getting to the next level. And then after that, I kind of like gave into it all. I said, right, I'll just follow it. In front, like whatever you give me, I'll follow it and then see where it leads me. And like my aim in Cork in 2021, am I right? 2022 was just to break 2:43. I ended up running 2:38 because I just listened, trust the process, built my endurance up, which I was lacking was speed endurance. You know, I had speed, I just didn't have speed endurance.
What's the difference to train for that?
It's just getting them longer blocks in, you know, like running at paces, like doing your 4 mile by 5, like doing blocks of Martin paces, you know, and that's what I did from then on, you know. I always looked at them and said, I don't have to do that. Take me, like, not the easy option. I wouldn't do the blocks. I'd run at a slower pace, but I'd run for longer. Like I was fairly comfortable around 6:50 pace. So instead of doing the session that he'd send on, I'd go out and do 20 miles at 6:50 pace. You know, stuff like that.
It's like stick what I'm good at.
yeah. That's it, and that's all I'm doing. And then it's like listening to your body, then, you know, and then just saying, yeah, like just get out there and walk and just listen to your body how good. Like, I'm gonna say, surround yourself around the right people. Like there's great people around. If you just listen to them and let them guide you, you'll be grand, you know.
And that is the great thing about getting involved with a group. And nowadays, them days that you want to just go at your 6:50 pace, there's going to be the others who are going, what do you mean? No, we're going at this today, and it's good to keep
Imagine me asking Anto to go 6:50 pace. There's no chance of that.
All the video production he all has down is like, nah, you're ruining me for however long it is.
Oh, stop, man. He's balls to the walls, that fella, you know. He's flat out, you know. You gotta love his drive, you know. But that just doesn't work for me, because I know I get flat out injured, and like running for me is like, it's a lifestyle. It's not like in smash, grab, bang, I'm out of here. I'll probably be running man on 60, lads, you know.
And
the more people can help along the way, the better, you know. There's a lad, Dan, do you know Dan Fuzz? Is that his name? He's on Instagram. He started like this pace run, and he had like 80 out, and he's talking to me. I was like, great. I said, that's deadly. I said, have everyone on the granny running. That's the objective. Get everyone running. It's great. It's great for the head. It's great for everything. You know what I mean? So like, that's my whole concept of running. I said, running is enjoyable, you know. I always say to people, when people are like, oh, look at these running fast, I say to them, you get the same feeling as I do when I come over the line at like whatever. If I hit a PB, you get the same feeling. Your body doesn't know paces. You know what I mean? Like you still get that euphoric feeling when you come over the line. I'm at a PB. Like Kipchoge gets the same feeling I get when I cross over. Whether it be 2:31 or he's at 2 hours. Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we always feel like a certain time slot, you feel even better for getting a sub 3 or sub 2.5, but breaking a record is breaking your own personal record. It's the exact same feeling.
Yeah.
Expand more and more. It's all the same, really.
Yeah, that's it. But for fair play, that them lads are breaking boundaries, but we're everyday runners. Like, you know what I mean? We have lives, we have family, we have all the parental bubble. These boys are living for training, like they're like waking up, training, recovering, everything, you know. So, like, that's why they have the ability to do all that. We have to go over the ground and get bread from me, ma. You know what I mean? I have to go to work. You know what I mean? I'm constantly on my feet. And if I'm not on my feet, I'm on the bike running around my athletes that I coach, you know? So, like, it's all stuff, you know?
And what you've said on the podcast, Ian, as well, I've no doubt that a lot of people are going to take a lot from it. And because we get so many different types of people talking about various levels of running, but it does come back down to that consistency. And so many people are going to just be able to just take a load off their own shoulders and just be like, what am I getting worked up about? You know, just go out and run and just go out and enjoy it and forget about the watch for a little while, which is a big thing. Everyone's so focused on the Strava and the watch and stuff. And you, in fairness, you're doing that, and there's so many different groups setting up in Dublin as well that you've been a part of, and people are just getting out and enjoying it, isn't that right?
Yeah. It's great, you know. We've all been inner city, man. It's great. The whole concept of inner city is great. It's just like get everyone running as well. You know what I mean? And the sense of community over there. Like, I'll give you a story. My watch was robbed at work, and then all them boys like and girls over in inner city, they kicked me out of the group. I went to the Dwayne. Dwayne is one of the co-founders. Carl's the other co-founder of Inner City. And I goes, why did you kick me out of the group? I don't worry, pal. I go, and I hate anything public or like speaking. Even this is a big thing for me, you know. And I goes, you better not be doing that at the next event where you call me up the stage and ask me to talk because I'm not having any of it. You know what I mean? And then it turned out that they all got a collection together. Got me a new watch, new pair of runners and all, you know. Like if anything happens, it's that sense of community in the flats. If something happens to one person, they all come together and they all pull together, you know. And it's great, you know. Wednesday nights over in the Gorman is probably the best day of the week I have. The getting out with a gang. It's unbelievable, you know.
Yeah, we'll put that in the podcast notes as well. You've given me a shit ton of things to put in this, by the way, Ian, on the notes. Like,
oh, stop! I don't know.
Dublin Endurance Project. I got Gary over here. Like, you've worked with, like, I just saw here one of my notes. You did stuff with Donore Harriers as well. Were you with them? Because there's a few race reports you're mentioned in.
I run for the North. The North's my club. So
we've done nearly an hour of a podcast and we haven't even mentioned your running club.
Yeah, I run with the North. Yeah, I can talk all day, you know. So when you first asked me to come on this, I was like, what does he want me to come on the phone? Like, I'm just out here. Like, as I said to you, I'm just out there running. That's all I'm doing. Like when I say Ian is running, Ian is just running. That's all I'm doing. Or Ian is helping someone run. You know what I mean? That's all I'm doing. But I was like I looked at all the other lads you had on, like the likes of Michael Fox and all that, and then you had Ricky Wynn. Like Ricky Wynn, what he's doing is great. You have to look up to stuff like that. Same with Michael, what he's doing. Look, I look at people like that. And like that's what drives me. I know I can get to them levels. You know what I mean? There's another lad, Robert Murphy, who's ran a 220 marathon. The likes of Gary. Now Gary's a bit of a freak now. Gary has always had talent when he was younger. You know what I mean? So only for his accident, and then he came back to a later stage in life. But he's always been talented. But the likes of that Robert Murphy, they all started the way I did, and we're hitting the times I'm hitting. And I know in 10 years' time that I'll be down to that level. Maybe probably 4 years' time, 5 years' time, I'll be at that level. It's about holding it then, you know? And just being like grounded all the way, not rushing, not overthinking, and just trusting the process. As you say, consistency, just keep building the foundation. Like literally build a block, build another block, and just keep going and going and going. When I say block, it's like a trainer block between races, you know what I mean? You don't have to race every race either, you know? That's the one thing I'd say to people. Too many people are booking races week in, week out. You need to pick a key race, work towards it. It's all right that B races, or if you want company around, go out and just use that race as a stepping stone onto your main goal, you know. I find everyone's just booking races just for the sake of it. And you won't progress doing that, you know, if you're out there racing all the time, you know.
Yeah, you just burn out.
You burn out. That's exactly it, you know.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing how you get on in this 50K and seeing how Seán
actually I was just about to say that I had to go on the whole podcast and haven't asked Seán how he's fixed for Donadea.
I don't know, pal.
I seen something on the story there that you've 29K to go.
29 more K to go. I don't know how. I have no idea what I'm going to do for pace stuff like that. I only feel like I'm going to get back into somewhat decent to what I've done before. These loops and stuff, we're like, now as we're recording the podcast, just because I know this is going to come out like the week of Donadea. This is only a couple of days after I did a half, you did a full. We don't know if it's going to be a one small loop and 5 loops. And because I don't know that well, every turn I was like, when is this going to end?
Hey, tell me this, is this the first time? Was that the first time you ran Donadea the weekend?
Yeah, first time I ran
How heavy is that surface?
Oh,
and the legs.
Yeah, because people are telling me hills and stuff, and there's a lot of hills and stuff around here. Where I normally run, so like there's no hills in Donadea Forest, but I felt it. I did feel the legs that I was like, this. I
don't want to frighten you, but if it's the big loop, you're in for a shock.
There's some sort. That's what I read in the emails. Like I'm missing out on the rolling hills, and I'm like, that's the reason I signed up for the half, just to have some sort of experience. So I'm gonna have to pop down there a few times.
So when you turn to the right, it's a climb, and then they actually have a memorial there for the Twin Towers, and then you take a left, and then it's kind of downhill. But there's this big hill at the end as you get there, and I'm not messing with you. Every loop that hill gets bigger. Still the same, but it gets bigger.
Yeah. This is what I've heard. This is why I wanted to do the four.
Yeah.
Obviously, couldn't do it, the pond stuff.
So my advice here for Donadea would be, right, have a plan, stick to it, and then don't get caught up in the rat race at the start, because everyone falls off from lap 7, lap 8, lap 9, lap 10. You see people's pace like decreasing. If you pace it right and you're strong, and then you're gonna finish strong. You know what I mean? Like I'd say, like, I don't know, 15 seconds, whatever pace you were thinking now, I'd add on 10 seconds.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Just because of the ground and the hills, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you plan on running the pace you did the weekend?
I got the
Or you just wing it the weekend just to see how the
half
body...
winged it. I want to see how the body, because it's been all easy runs for quite a while. So I want to just go a little bit faster, see how long I can hold on for. And I was happy enough to hold on and get a 1:45 and get through it. 150 was the goal, but when I was getting to the 5-minute paces, I was like, let's see how long I can hold this. And because if I crash and burn for a half, like, okay, I've got 4 weeks just to readjust that pace for the full one. I'm not going to be anywhere near 5-minute pace now for 50K. I'm well aware of that. I'm just conscious of how many times you're going to pass me out, Ian.
No.
Like Captain America, on your left.
Yeah, that's it. I was saying that it's great. Like, but so the weekend I was a bit of cracking. I was just like, because I was going around my own. I was like, I had to shout. I don't want to be shouting at people. I just was running around them. You know what I mean? Because the weekend was a training run for myself, like trying to just get, like, kind of simulate for the legs to harden up, and then just get the body used to the pace. You know what I mean? But I ran around there. I ran around that with I didn't look at my watch. It was mainly all feel. Like, I literally did. I know where I'm at when I'm doing tempos, and I just wanted that feel. And I didn't want to take too much out of the body. You have to be conscious. It was 4 weeks out from Donadea, so I was like, I just don't want to be broke up. You know what I mean? And I was able to get out the next day, do 21K, do 13 miles, and like the legs are a bit sore. We expect that. That surface takes a lot out of you. It's just strange. You know what I mean? So you need to be conscious. So you need to be conscious of that. Like, even last year, I went down with it. Like, I wanted to average 550 a mile. Gary O'Hanlon rang me that morning. He said, I didn't want to say it to you the night before, and like, well, I was listening to him. He rang me. He said, scrap that plan. You know what Donadea's like? Just run 6-minute pace. And I was like, yeah, you're actually right. You know, you're actually right. So like, that's the kind of stuff, like, you know. So it's good. I'm hoping, like, that new loop that they did, like, it's so, like, that's a drag from when you first run down. It's a drag, and that gets longer every time. But what's good about that is it's easier on the mind, because you're going around people. Like I think it's I think it was maybe 2.3 a mile. So that's nearly, like, what's that, just under 4K.
3.79 or something,
Yeah. So so you're seeing people more. On the longer loop, it's you're out there on your own. So
a little bit
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're a little bit lonely. Like, you're out there for another K and a half on your own, and it's like, in your head, just the mind games. Even though I had mind games myself the weekend, like I was saying, how many loops do I have left? I forgot how many loops we have, you know. Or I couldn't actually come on this with, and my talking about Donadea without saying it. We have a lad, Eric, right, daily, that trains with us in that little axe group I told you I first started off training with, and they're mad for Donadea. We went down to Donadea 2 years ago. That lad missed a lap and did an extra lap. He did 55K. We called him the 55K champ, and all we did. So don't, whatever you do, don't do an extra lap.
I'm pretty sure of all the things that's going to happen to me, that probably won't happen. I'm like, I got under 5 hours. But it's been absolutely brilliant having you on, Ian. I could talk to you for another hour or so and hold you up, but you probably got other things when I'm training stuff to do.
I have to go out and do a session now.
So, let's do a session, and best of luck in the 50K and Donadea.
I'll see you down there.
100%, yeah.
Thanks very much, right? Thanks for having me on, lads. I appreciate it, right?
No worries at all, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Ian's just gone before I wrap up the podcast. He's like,
No,
I
go on. No.
Let's wrap the podcast. That's it for myself, Eric, and
I'm impatient, Sean.
you. The whole podcast about being patient and stuff. The very end, go on, wrap it up. I gotta go. Right,
Come on, see you later. Thanks for having me, but I'm gone.
Take care. Take care.
Come on, bye.